Yeah. Nothing. What do you say?
But sure, do not go into somebody's house that you don't know.
Yeah, if I said maybe trying to attempt walking up there. Hey, come over here.
Come on now.
2 years ago, I was home on holiday.
Missed the house.
Pretty normal day.
I don't.
It was on a Friday. All my friends were
I'm
out
like,
partying. However, I was doing homework. Not one of my most exciting nights, but I didn't mind too much. I really had to get this homework done anyway. My mom and dad were handing out candy to the trick-or-treaters as they usually do. My house doesn't usually get any because we're pretty much the only house on the block that hands out. So it's often ignored because it's not worth their time. Tonight was no exception. Later that night, my mom called me down and tells me to watch the door for trick-or-treaters because my neighbors had come over and tells me their costumes were a party. So my neighbors and my parents both went upstairs to work on the costumes, leaving me alone downstairs. It didn't bother me because I finished my homework and I could just play my PS4 while I was working.
There you go.
A couple more trick-or-treaters came in about an hour. Pretty typical for this area. However, around 11 p.m., I heard a knock at the door. I thought it was pretty weird since it had almost been an hour since I heard a knock. It was pretty weird.
Right.
So I grabbed the candy and went in.
Stop looking around me.
Unfortunately, I know that there's a small front door. When we enter the front door, we make sure to lock the door behind us, leaving the living room door so I can run up to the apartment and whatnot. I did the same thing here. When I entered the door, there was a small dead, and the piece of fixed door somewhat unexpected. Michael Myers. For a costume.
Not answering that door.
Right.
Round 2. Fight! Finish him! Mercy. Finish him.
Our heads where we had to be the hero and save the day. But here I
Yeah,
was
that's
stuck
true.
in a real life situation, completely unable to move, not able to save myself. I was frozen in fear. It was such a weird feeling, almost like I was dreaming the entire thing. I had no control over my body. And what a cliche way of dying I thought it would be, getting stabbed to death by someone dressed up as Michael Myers on Halloween.
Right. They wouldn't believe you.
Thankfully, it didn't go like that, because without warning, the guy takes off his mask and jokingly says, "I'm just messing with you, bro." I'm
Don't.
still frozen in shock and can't respond in any way.
Like, I'm not your
He
bro.
then says,
Don't
"It's
play
good,
with
you
me.
though, right?"
Hell nah.
Completely confused and still afraid, I managed to respond with, "Yeah, you got me."
Yeah,
Put
you
the knife
got
back in
me.
his pocket, which gave me a huge sign of relief, and said, "I didn't really come here to trick or treat, but can I have that candy anyway? I'm really hungry."
No,
I didn't
after
hesitate
that,
to give
no.
him the candy because he creeped me out, and he still did have a knife. He then goes on to mention how he just left his friend's Halloween party and he saw my lights on and decided to prank me. It was obvious that he was drunk and high and thought knocking on someone's house pretending to be Michael Myers qualifies
shot.
as a good prank.
Right, in my neighborhood.
He mentions how he owns a tattoo place about an hour away from here, and
Oh,
even
that's
says
nice.
that I'm pretty chill and that we should hang out sometime. He tells me to put his name and number in my phone so we can chill soon. I make sure to take his name and number down. After all, the last thing I wanted to do was upset this weird guy still blocking my only exit with a knife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I basically agreed to everything he said because I was still terrified and just wanted the conversation to end as soon as possible.
Right.
But this conversation seemed to go on for hours. Despite this, I still didn't feel comfortable or safe. I had to find a way to get this guy out of my house. There was something way off about him, and I got vibes that he was a dangerous person. So I decided to make up a bullshit lie and say that I had something cooking in the oven that I needed to check on and that I'd text him later.
Right.
It worked. He said okay and turned around to leave my house.
Bet text him.
I could not close and
Wait,
lock the
comes
door
back.
quick enough when he left. My heart was still beating so fast that I thought it was going to burst from my chest. That was easily the most terrifying and weirdest experience of my life. I decided to not contact the police though, since the guy didn't have any malicious intent. I guess he was just completely out of it and just an overall really creepy person.
Yes.
I still have his number to this day, but we've never texted or called each other, just the way I'd like it.
I mean, yeah.
As terrifying as that situation was, I can laugh at it now and use it as an interesting story to share with my friends. So I guess one good thing did come from it.
I always think
People who you open your door for on Halloween.
Yep.
Some very weird and messed up people out there.
There
I
are.
got lucky this guy wasn't a complete psychopath because nothing was stopping him from stepping in.
so. That just tells you, be careful. Have your weapon handy. And his house feel kind of weird because you got like a living room and then a door, and in between the living room is a door and a door. That just seems like a horror
It
movie.
seems like, that's the perfect house for you. Just like have all of this stuff.
And trick or treat, you gotta run all the way to your door trying to open it. That's a bad house.
But I can understand why the door's closed. Like, if you have a dog and the trick or treaters like constantly ringing a doorbell, your dog will bark. Like
Right.
I had two. I'm my second dog now.
Yeah.
She will bark.
Yeah.
But her bark don't sound like that intimidating.
yeah.
It's that little tiny cough bark. But my other one, the first one, she sounded like a full big old German shepherd, and she wasn't. And that was bad. So
Yeah.
like we had to put her in the basement and everything. So
Might have been, if he had a big dog, he might have been able to intimidate him.
if
If
her, they're gonna hear a little. Like that's not gonna do it. The house is covered with spiders. I wouldn't be going to the house.
And you hate Jasmine hates spiders.
Halloween used to be my favorite holiday, but ever since one not so sweet round of trick-or-treating, I've kind of switched over to liking Christmas the most. In 2006, I was 14 years old. Me and Johnny, my best friend at the time, were going trick-or-treating together. I remember it was a Tuesday night, so everyone had school the next day. That meant the craziness with the teenagers going around with TV and shaving cream wasn't as extreme, nor was anything really. My parents wanted me back by 11 o'clock the latest, same with Johnny. It was around 8:30. I would constantly check my wristwatch. We were down a bunch of blocks close to the woods and the highway, like the east end of town. This would likely be our last year of trick-or-treating, so we were trying to get as much candy as possible. We rang doorbell after doorbell. As the night wore on and the amount of kids outside lessened, the number of people answering their doors also decreased. Then it started to drizzle, and that's when it really became a ghost town outside. But that didn't stop us. We were now 3 houses down, commonly known around there as Hell House. Hell House was nicknamed this because of the alleged murder that happened inside decades ago.
And you want to go there?
The fact that the house looks like it was built over 100 years ago, and the house the other house a few miles away.
I ain't even
The whole webpage dedicated to the house with a little lore behind it. I don't really remember the full details anymore. The website is down now, but at the time, nobody seemed to know if anybody lived there or not. At the time, I was sure the neighbors knew, but we didn't live very close to the house. Long story short, me and Johnny were feeling brave and cocky, so we hopped the creepy fence surrounding the seemingly abandoned property and walked up to the stoop, which was made out of ancient and worn-out-looking red brick. We knocked on the door a few times, but there was no doorbell. The drizzle turned to rain, and we suddenly didn't want to move out to under the front awning. Johnny jokingly knocked on the door again, but my focus was shifted to walking home in this rain.
Yeah.
Suddenly, a loud thud made us both jump. Johnny said it sounded like it came from a window upstairs, to which I replied, "Let's leave."
Yeah. Let's
We walked
go.
quickly back down the red brick pathway, hopped over the front black graveyard-like gate, and stopped to look back at the house on this dark, rainy Halloween night. Johnny bumped me on the shoulder and pointed to the upper middle window of the house. I felt like my heart dropped from my chest when I saw somebody clear as day staring down at us. tell what it was through the rain and foggy window, but I swear that face and just this whole scene seemed like something you would see in a horror movie.
Get out.
Both jumped once again when the person at the window quickly and aggressively turned and seemingly ran away from the window.
Oh no.
All we could assume was that they were coming outside after us.
Yeah.
We quickly went to hide by the neighbor's fence, which was facing the backyard of the house. The sound of the rain thankfully masked the sound of our breathing and whispering. This neighboring fence was made of wood and had a bunch of holes, allowing us to peek through to the lawn next door.
Oh my
Suddenly,
gosh.
the entire fence started to shake a little, yet we couldn't see anyone on the other side. We were certain it wasn't us who had done it. Johnny and I agreed it was time to make a run for it back to my house. We both stood up, and when we turned to run, I saw something at the edge of the fence. At first, I was confused as to what it was due to the darkness, but it soon hit me that this was a person leaning over to this side of the fence, exposing their body down to their waistline, with one arm reaching around the fence. The way this person was positioned and staring at us made for a horrifying scene and memory. We dropped our candy bags and ran for it. After
Well, I
running
wouldn't
5
have dropped
blocks,
it.
Yeah, no, you wouldn't.
Yeah.
we tripped twice in the rain. We got back to my house. We agreed not to say a word, given that what we did could probably get us in trouble. The really scary part is the next day, after school, we went to go ask some of the
Okay, you're
neighbors
getting
over there
fucking
if they knew who lived there, and they all gave the same response. They had no idea if anybody lived there or not. They never saw a car in the driveway or anybody outside. One of the neighbors even pointed out that the house had a for sale sign very briefly a few months prior, but disappeared within a few days.
So maybe.
Told all the neighbors our story, and they were all very disturbed.
Or maybe the person that died.
We moved out of that neighborhood in 2007 next year, and I've never had to worry about the story behind that house or who was living there since. All I know is something strange was going on inside of that house, and I kind of wish I found out what.
Okay.
Just tell you not,
Be careful which house you go to. Be careful.
Be very careful.
Oh man.
Those are good stories, though. I enjoy those stories.
Yeah.
Yeah, just please be careful when you go trick or treat.
Yeah, I
You
had
don't want to lose any of y'all.
Yeah, you know, like I know I told you about this time, but like when I was younger, if anybody from DMV remembers when the sniper
Oh, where's
was out.
Yeah, I wasn't here, but
Yeah.
you guys had it.
Yeah, the sniper was out in the DC, Maryland area, and basically everybody was scared to go anywhere. And that was around the time Halloween happened. And another fun fact, that was when I got pink eye, and that was bad too. So I had to go home.
Yeah.
But it was clearing up, and then the next day, my mom used that as part of my costume.
Right.
So
That's
what. No, that was funny. But I didn't realize it. I didn't realize it.
nasty. Shit nasty.
Whatever. I don't care. I got
Hey. How is it going today? Loyalist Kingdom, my name's Dwayne.
My name's Jazz.
We're Dwayne Jazz. Today we have for you 3 true, disturbing Halloween horror stories by Mr. Nightmare. And it is almost Halloween, so
Yes, we already got our costume. So
be ready for that. And if you have your actual requests, please follow us on all our social medias and link us below. And don't forget to subscribe. We just had almost 30K on Twitter. We hit 29K, so we just want more K.
Oh,
30K more. What's that one?
I don't follow that. So
Right.
I don't know. Do you have any
What?
horror stories from Halloween? No, you gotta go trick or treat.
Yeah.
I wish I could take you to old now. We gonna go when we have kids.
Yeah.
That's when you'll dress up and you'll go.
Dress up.
Yes. It could be like the Incredibles. You need a big one.
Halloween 2016.
Oh, wait, last secret.
My 3 friends and I, for the purpose of this story, will be named J, K, and L respectively, were trick-or-treating downtown. Downtown was always a mob scene on Halloween, only because the houses were so close together, meaning more candy for the amount walked. 10 o'clock was always the time things really started to die down. By 10:30, we were really the only kids still out trick-or-treating.
Yeah, like
Only
8.
like 1 in 10 houses actually opened their doors this late. So we called it quits with the trick-or-treating and decided to just screw around. It was a Saturday night after all. As we called it quits with the trick-or-treating, a lone person in a clown costume was walking really, really slowly from the black fog in the distance. This was a legit clown costume too. The makeup was crazy. From the slit-mouth smile to the blood-filled boils, it was a scary costume. The four of us laughed and screamed in reaction, but ultimately walked away.
See that? You
We went
see
to
why
a
I
park
don't
that
mess
was
with
nearby
clowns.
to just goof around and make a mess with silly string and shaving cream and whatever. We weren't the first, however. Strands of silly string littered the playground, as well as shaving cream smudged on the walls of a bathroom building in the park to spell out obscenities.
That's just nasty. You got so much time.
We all hung out on the playground, but Jay pointed out to the dark horizon, where two clowns were walking over to us. One of them the same clown from earlier. I didn't think it was possible, but the second clown was even more disturbing than the first. The first clown now seemed to be wielding some kind of long, spear-like object. They both approached us really, really slowly. The funniness of the situation quickly wore off as they got closer and closer. Then they started to charge us.
I don't know how they thought it was funny.
We all ran in different directions. One of the two clowns was chasing me. Out the park and down the street I ran. I didn't know the area too well.
Hell
I
no.
didn't know how to get back to Al's house.
They get your taser.
I ran all the way there. About halfway there, I lost the clown. I called El and told him I was in his backyard. He was out of breath, but he said he just lost one of the clowns and was on his way over now. I said I'd call Jay, and he said he'd call Kay. Luckily, Jay picked up on the first ring. He wasn't being chased, so he didn't sound as freaked out as El did. We told him to meet us at El's house. 10 minutes later, all four of us were in El's backyard, gathering our thoughts and discussing what just went down. We had a good laugh about it now that it was over, as we ate some of the candies that we got.
Oh, that's funny.
Kate went home, while me, Jay, and El hung out in the living room for a while. Lights off, TV on, playing some Xbox One party game. Jay looked out the window and then ducked and told us to shh and turn off the TV.
The clowns followed him.
When we asked why, he said there was a clown out there. I didn't believe him, so I looked out the window. He screamed, "Don't," but it was too late.
The clown was looking at him.
The clown standing outside of El's house looked right at me through the window.
Oh, y'all got no clown?
I shut the curtains and told him it wasn't
I don't know why they keep. You should never
parents
keep
weren't
your
home,
blinds
so
open
going
at
to his
night.
dad wasn't an option.
Ever.
Instead, we shut off the TV and went upstairs to El's bedroom. We looked out the window. The clown wasn't there anymore. Actually, we never saw either of the clowns again. But the next morning, El texted the three of us, saying he found a rubber clown nose on his backyard patio table. He said it was obviously placed there with intent to scare us. And mission accomplished because it worked. Luckily, that clown epidemic didn't last
See, that
more
brings
than a
me
month
back
later.
to that conversation where
After
just
that,
some
it
people
just
just
became
want
an
to
old
just
story.
play with you. Like, don't do that.
That was during, I think that was during that clown.
The clown epidemic, that's what it sounded like. And they did Clown Lives Matter. You see that?
Yeah.
It was a good not taking
It was this Oakland Halloween. My mom and dad took my two twin brothers out trick-or-treating. I didn't have plans, so my parents kind of forced me to answer the door and hand out candies while they were gone. Since we lived in a cul-de-sac,
It still might be.
you get next to no tree. I didn't have plans, so my parents kind of forced me to answer the door and hand out candies while they were gone. Since we live in a cul-de-sac,
It still might be.
you get next to no tree
Like never
on Halloween. So every time the doorbell rang, I kind of jumped. I was in the living room watching TV, with a bucket of candies next to me on a small table. Butterfingers, the one and only candy my mom always got on Halloween for some reason.
I love Reese's.
So I took the orange bucket and brought it to the door and opened it.
Oh, we gotta
There
get
was
some
someone in
candy.
a screen mask and robe holding out a pillow sack. It didn't look like he got a lot of candy for the night. And given that the night was almost over and nobody was really coming to the house, and he was alone, which is always kind of sad, I gave him a bunch of candy. He walked away without saying thanks, which kind of made me feel bad, but it was honestly whatever. I stopped thinking about it as soon as I sat back down on the
It
couch.
should be that person that like hands up the candy. If you don't say trick or treat, I don't give
Watching
you.
ended, so I started
I'll
surfing
wait.
the channels. During one of the brief moments of silence as the TV flipped from one channel to the other, I heard a thud and a bump come from downstairs near the back door. To better hear what it could have been, I turned the volume on the TV all the way down and went to the stairway. The back door was wide open.
Oh,
My heart started racing as I started to feel sick inside. I'd forgotten to lock it when I went back there. The big question was, what I heard was the sound of the door opening or closing. And if someone was in the house.
And they just
Naturally, I
left.
called down the stairway for my mom and dad. And then my twins' names. The silence from down in the dark, Dad, was creepy as hell. I was afraid to go down there. Unfortunately, there's no door to separate the main floor from the den stairway, so sitting in the living room suddenly didn't seem very comfortable. I kept the TV on, but muted. I just felt safer with the extra light it provided.
Turn a light on.
Took
How
a
about
while for
that?
some reason, but it finally hit me to call my parents and ask them to come home. My mom said they'd be home within half an hour. I told my mom I was scared that someone was downstairs because I heard something. She assured me that there was nothing and it was just my imagination.
It's not my
I hung up the
imagination.
phone
I forgot.
and immediately heard the sound of wood foundation cracking under one of the carpeted steps to the den.
Oh,
I froze on the couch. Literally, I couldn't move a muscle, not even a finger. Then there was another crack. As silently as I could, I sat up from the couch into a half-crouched position, tiptoeing to the front door. But as I passed the couch that blocked the view of the den stairway from the living room, I saw something on the stairway.
A clown.
It was a scream mask,
Oh, no.
but in a way where he was obviously not trying to get caught. The angle at which I saw the mask and the dark lighting made the sight so much more disturbing. When he saw me, though, he went the other way, back into the darkness of the den.
Oh.
I locked myself in my room upstairs and called my mom again to tell her what happened. They cut their trip short and came home. Only when my parents got home did I feel safe to leave my room. My dad and I checked the whole den, every closet, every room. Luckily, there was no one. The moral of the story simply comes down to keeping your doors locked. Because apparently, this guy just helped himself through our back door.
Right.
I don't even know. When he said that he left it open, I'm like, okay, so that's kind of your fault now.
Your fault now, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Scream was funny to me. Scream was a funny movie. It wasn't even scary. It really scared me.
Well,
Yeah.
actually, yeah, it was kind of.
Especially this because it's
I saw
scary.
it after Scary
My
Movie.
older
Yeah.
brother was having a Halloween party. He was a sophomore in college. I was actually only in the 8th grade. Our parents weren't home all weekend, so he was taking advantage of the opportunity, I guess.
I could never do that.
He made it
Yeah.
Had too many people watching my
want me in the house during the party. But fortunately, I already made plans to go trick-or-treating with two of my friends.
Yeah.
We all agreed it would probably be our last year's trick-or-treating.
Yeah, that's like
so
when you're
we
like
wanted to make it a good
13.
time.
Yeah.
We started midday right after school. The prime time where most kids were out. Most everyone answers their
Oh,
doors.
really?
And still had a bunch
I didn't even know that.
Midday. Started at night.
by dark. Making stops at our houses and
Midday does sound smart, though.
of course.
What?
Yeah, it's safe so nobody like kidnapped.
There's
Weren't
no
satisfied
way
yet.
How the fuck
We
did you
needed another day, of course. After eating dinner and resting at my friend's place for a while, we went back out with empty bags.
You don't remember he did two
Went out
fucking
walking a little
things.
bit. It was probably around 9 o'clock now. Getting candy was a bit slower by now since
Yeah.
most buckets were empty and not everyone was answering their doors.
Yeah, they're like after 9 o'clock, that's shut off.
Because we were still having fun. No, we didn't get much candy this time. By the time it was like 10:30 or 11, we stopped because it just seemed obnoxious to knock on people's doors this late. Everyone already went home because it was a Tuesday night, work night, and
Oh, hey, it's gonna be this
we already
year.
was skipping school the next day. We were all in the same homeroom and already knew nothing was going on in school tomorrow. And to us, the night was still young. So we went for a run to
Yeah.
what locals called the Cool House. It was a house with some history. A couple got divorced after their child somehow died in the house.
Right.
The wife
Somehow.
A
Right.
couple weeks later, the husband shot himself at the kitchen table. It's been fenced off ever since.
Oh, no.
Why the house hasn't been sold or torn down by now is beyond me.
Yeah,
When we got there, we realized how scary the house was in the dark. It stood taller than the other houses, and it had a black fence surrounding the front yard, with overgrown bushes hugging it.
And they want to go in.
The front gate was pretty easy to hop. The deviance of what we were doing just made it so much more thrilling.
Right.
Yeah, see,
We walked around back just to be safe, hoping no neighbors would see us.
I'll be like, y'all can record it and I'll watch it.
The back door had a table wedged up against it. Someone clearly tried really hard to keep people out, possibly a neighbor. Through teamwork, we were able to lift the table quietly from off the door and onto the grass. The door was missing a doorknob, and it pushed in relatively easily. We were inside, and it felt weird. It felt uncomfortable. At the same time, exhilarating. All of us had our flashlights, creating a decent amount of light in the otherwise pitch-black building. We were in the back living area of the house, some kind of den. The wood floors were all creaky as hell, and everything seemed to have been untouched for years. It didn't seem like anyone ever really broke in there before.
Because nobody wants to.
Right.
That room was clear of anything interesting, so we moved on to the kitchen. An archaic fridge sat in the corner. One of my friends opened it up, and immediately the room filled with a stale, rotten, plasticky type odor. The fridge had some old empty milk and orange juice cartons. That was about it. The whole kitchen smelled foul, so we got out of there quickly. Next was the living room. This room was just creepy. Something about it, I don't know, it just made you think that anytime you turned around, there'd be someone standing in one of the corners. One of my friends pointed his light up and said, "Look at that." There was a giant hole in the ceiling, which led right up to a room upstairs. As my other friend and I also shined our lights up there, there was a couple thumps from right above us. We all shut our lights. I got that horrible, painful feeling.
Machine learning is often timely.
In my heart area from what I just heard.
I would have left.
We all whispered very, very lightly that those were definitely footsteps. One friend whispered we should go up there, see what it was. My other friend and I said absolutely no way and started tiptoeing to the back door. But he was persistent. He didn't follow us.
Let him go.
Instead, he went upstairs.
Let him go. I'm going.
He didn't even make a good effort at being quiet about it. We kind of felt like we had to wait for him down in the living room now, so we stayed put.
Now wait.
We heard his footsteps
Look, I told
upstairs
you I
now,
was going.
crossing the upstairs of the house, until he stopped right above us. My eyes were adjusted to the dark by this point, so even without our flashlights on, I was able to see the figure of my friend, standing above us, looking down through that hole in the ceiling. I tried whispering up there loud enough so that he could hear, but apparently he couldn't. I didn't want to get any louder, but suddenly we heard footsteps coming from the stairway in the living room. We both turned on our flashlights and shined them up to the top of the staircase to see our other friend walking down the stairs. The realization set in immediately. Neither of us had the balls to shine our lights up to that hole in the ceiling to see who was actually standing there. I just screamed run, and we all
That
booked
wasn't
into the
their
back
friend
door,
they were
out the house, into one of my friend's house. The friend who went upstairs said he smelled something foul in there, like a rotting carcass,
Probably
and he
was.
also heard
Dead
breathing
body.
coming from one of the rooms. To this day, we have no idea who was in that house, but it seemed unlikely that it was just another curious wanderer, given how boarded up the house was. To say the least, we don't go there anymore.
There you
Great.
go.
Yeah.
Okay. So, okay, first story. That was probably because of the clown epidemic. And
Yeah.
they thought it was funny at first. I don't know how
Everybody
you find that
thought it was funny.
I don't find that funny. I will page you. Second story, he left his door open, so that's his fault. Third story, y'all clearly go to a house that has bad memories. And then y'all say, you know what, this place was very scary, but let's go in anyway.
Let's try it out.
Yeah, that's like, no. I will leave you in a heartbeat.
Believe me in a heartbeat, that was me.
If it was you, I would go with you, but I would strongly suggest that you don't. I would try to keep you out of there. But if you decide to go in, I'm right or die. I'll go with you. We'll just die together. But, you know.
I'll leave you, but I'm
Can we just talk? Can we just talk
soak you shower with? You probably haven't even questioned a bar soak you lather up on. Let's face it, most guys don't. They're still using whatever bar.
How is it going today? Let's get the name's Dwayne.
My name's Jazz.
We're Dwayne Jazz, and we have three disturbing true summer cash horror stories. Why am I talking like that?
You
Oh, Mr. Nightmare.
Like Star Trek?
Yeah. If you guys have any reaction requests, please follow us on all our social media and the link is below. And don't forget to
subscribe.
What's that one?
3 true disturbing summer cash horror
Horror stories. Oh my god.
Larger?
M. Ferrari. And
Oh, I guess these are usually.
yeah.
Okay. I was like, what? Don't worry about my finger, y'all. Just cut it.
Yeah.
So that people are
I went to a summer camp called Campfire, so my parents signed me up for it. They were to find my best friend Keith, so I wouldn't be going there not knowing anyone. The camp was for 2 weeks, and it was the typical setting you'd expect to see in those old summer camp horror movies like Sleepaway Camp. There were 2 big cabins where the girls and boys slept respectively. There was also a big lodge-type building with an activity center, dining hall, and other amenities, and then various other smaller buildings scattered throughout the camp. Keith and I stayed up later than all the other kids because we wanted to play on our Nintendo DS together.
Oh, that's recent then. That's not old.
It was reaching the deep hours of the night past 2 a.m.
No, she has been out for a
playing
bit.
DS together. That's when the door to the cabin opens. Panicking, we both threw our DSs under the pillows and pretended to be asleep. Footsteps moved around the room, from Keith's bed over to my bed. Then the footsteps stopped at my bed, and for a short moment, I felt the ever so soft feeling of someone breathing down my neck. Then the footsteps moved away from my bed and back to the door. Once it shut.
Right. Then I don't want his friend.
Said, it was scary. Especially since whoever that was breathing down my neck.
Did you see who
We
it was
went back to playing on our DSs.
You went
We got
back?
a text message on there. They
No.
read, "Why are you two still up?" Those of us who had cell phones were given a list of phone numbers of the camp counselors who we should call if something were to happen. So that number didn't belong to any of the counselors. Not that I knew of, at least.
So
I
somebody
texted
else.
back saying, "Who's this?" They never responded, though. I told Keith, who didn't have a cell phone, that he was just as freaked out as I was. Obviously,
How'd they
it had
get
to
your
be a
phone number?
counselor. Or so we thought. So we went back to playing on our DSs with the screen brightness all the way down. We both heard the back door to the cabin open. We looked at each other and once again threw our DSs under the pillows. There were no more footsteps, though. Suddenly my phone vibrated. It was another text message from the same number. It said, "It's Counselor Tony. Come outside to the back of the cabin. I have something to say to you."
Ready? Yes, let's do it! People will do crazy things to get free stuff. And before Tubi, streaming amazing movies and TV shows for free was extremely hard. How hard? Almost as hard as getting your chest waxed in public. Hey boss, do you want to win a free TV? Nah man, it's free! Yeah, sure, I guess. You have the opportunity to win a free TV if you complete this challenge. Are you down? That sounds fun. Alright, sounds interesting. What kind of challenge? Today's challenge, the chest wax.
Oh my god, chest wax. I have a lot of chest hair.
Yes, that's what we're looking for. You still down?
Of course, sure. Bro, I ain't gonna do it.
No? No. All good. Thank you so much for stopping by, though.
Dude, you should have done it. You should have done it.
All right, here we go. Okay. You see we have a lot of hair we're working with. Oh, the chest is bare. So it looks like we're going to have to do the armpits.
I'm extremely nervous.
Okay. All right. Here we go. Oh, really close to the...
I told Keith, and he said it sounded way too suspicious. Then we both wondered if whoever this Tony person was the one who just opened the back door. I got off the bed and took a few steps to the center of the room, where I could get a view down the hall to the back door. There was no one in sight, so I walked down the hall a little bit. Keith didn't approve. When I I got closer to the back screen door of the cabin, I realized there was a little section of the wall that caved in. In that little opening, there was someone hiding.
Oh,
We got a little closer.
Time to run.
I realized it was not a care house.
time to run.
It was a really old, creepy-looking man who was about the same height as me. I ran back to my bed screaming help, waking everybody up.
Good.
It was at that moment that I heard the back door slam shut. A camp counselor came rushing inside through the front door, and I told everybody what just happened. The counselors went around the whole campsite, searching the room
better have a weapon.
matching the description I gave. It was a big place surrounded by forest, though. It would be impossible to find someone. What still doesn't make sense to me is how that man got my phone.
That's what I'm saying. How did he get
My
it?
best guess would be he somehow found a list of phone numbers that the counselors had made.
Or he killed
How
someone.
did he know who I was?
Right. I'll be scared.
Right.
That was experience.
Like he knew, not only did he know your phone number, he knew who that phone number belonged to. Like he added a face to it. And that's why he stood on top of you. Like how does he know that? That's somebody that stalks you from home.
Yeah.
My first and last year at a teenager summer camp was basically a traditional summer camp for teens aged 13 to 16. The place had some history, though. An old woman who worked underground died from reasons not disclosed to the public.
Oh boy.
The old woman was one of the former cafeteria workers.
She gonna haunt you.
Well, to keep this short, it was one of those nights that my brain just hated me and was basically telling me you're not getting any sleep tonight. I was
That's us
rolling
every
from side to side in an uncomfortable cot as everyone else was fast asleep. The full moon made for a bright night. Beams of light literally poured into the room from every window. I was so far from tired that I just felt defeated. I sat up and rubbed my eyes. When I opened them again, I noticed the light from the window straight across from me was blocked by something.
Oh,
I gasped when I saw what was blocking the light.
the old
It
lady.
was a person's head.
Yep.
It looked like an older woman with a red cap on. What the hell is this lady doing? I thought to myself. It didn't really hit me hard until I realized the woman was looking right at me.
She's coming to cook him. She's the
Like her
cafeteria
eyes were
lady.
locked onto mine.
That's
When I saw this, I flipped on my side and pretended to be asleep. Or maybe I just wanted to hide under the covers like a baby. I gave it a minute before I dared look back at the window. She was gone. I breathed a sigh of relief. The room seemed darker now, though. Something wasn't right. I looked up to the window right above my cot, and 3 feet away from me at most, there was the same older woman in a red cap, looking straight down at me. Once again, I covered myself with the blankets and cowered in fear. I don't know how long I stayed like that before I actually fell asleep, because the next thing I remember is going to one of the adults running the camp and telling them about the woman with the red cap. He looked at the 2 women who were also in his office, and they looked back at him with disturbed faces.
Oh, so y'all know about it.
One of the women said,
Okay.
"That's so creepy. That sounds exactly like Miss Graham." As she said that, my heart skipped a beat. To this day, I don't know if what I saw at that window was a real person,
Okay.
if it was in my head, or if by some off chance, maybe it was Miss Graham out there.
So I blame the counselors for that one.
They say
because they know.
They both they know the escape rooms when they look at each other and they know what's up.
They're like, oh, we found out. Like,
Right.
Camp in Pennsylvania.
why would y'all take us there?
I was a little kid at the time. I was very shy. Meeting all the other kids at the orientation on the first day was a scary experience for me. I'd rather be home playing Super Nintendo or something.
Yeah.
Some of the other kids made friends pretty quickly. I thought I wasn't going to make any friends, but luckily some really outgoing kids started talking to me early on.
Aw.
I can't for the life of me remember his name though, so I'll call him Mike. Mike was a short blonde kid who always wore a Yankees hat. I thought he was the coolest kid at the time, but looking back now, I realize he's probably one of those kids who turned into a punk troublemaker in high school.
Well, leather
We were
jacket.
at the campground the
Right.
first day. Mike and I picked up on a lone bunk building that looked like it had been abandoned and unused for years. He asked one of the counselors what happened. He said he had no idea. It was his first week working there. All he knew was that it hadn't been used for years. On the last night of camp, we were in our bunks. Everyone was getting ready to go to sleep. Mike came up to me and whispered something in my ear. wanted to see what's inside. I wanted to seem cool to Mike since I, for whatever reason, looked up to him, so I agreed. When everyone was asleep, we went outside and kept close to the bunk. We waited until the lights in the counselor's bunks were out, which wasn't long since it was already late. Then we ran down the pavement leading through the counselor's bunks, towards the abandoned bunk
This is your
building.
fault. This whole story.
My heart was racing the whole time. I wasn't built to be doing mischievous things like this, not at that age at least. Mike led the way until we were by the door of the abandoned bunk. The front door was boarded up, which is one of the reasons why it caught our attention initially anyway. So we had to go through one of the windows, which, wouldn't you know it, there was one that was completely busted open already.
Well, I am really excited for your party tonight. It's not every day that someone turns 36. Sorry, hold on, there's someone at my door. Hello?
We climbed into the abandoned bunk. Now these buildings were pretty big. They weren't little shacks like you might be picturing. Each bunk had room for at least 10 campers. This one was no exception. Mike and I stood in the dark bunk.
Look at the
We were trying
bed.
to
Like,
pull
look
from
at
there.
it.
We had our arms out in front of us to make sure we didn't walk into anything. I walked into a bunk bed numerous times, and I heard Mike doing the same. I stopped to listen to what Mike was doing, and I heard bouncing on one of the beds.
He's playing. He's playing
That's
around.
not him.
Shh, stop messing around, I told him. I assumed he was hopping up and down on one of the old bunk beds.
That's not him.
But Mike's voice came from the complete opposite side of the room. As I remember, he said, "That's not me, I thought that was you." We had nothing to use as a light source, so we were in a pitch black room in a building that hadn't been used for years. And all we heard was the sound of someone bouncing up and down on the squeaky mattress.
And they're still going, even though.
Needless to say, we freaked out and ran to the window we entered the room. It was tiny though, so it took a while to get out. While I was waiting for Mike to get out, the bouncing sound stopped. There was a loud bump sound.
He coming to get
Whoever
you.
was bouncing on that bed must have jumped off. I jumped up to the window, and as I crawled through, I felt two hands grab onto my foot and try to pull me back.
Oh!
And I was already out the window. We ran back to our bunk and locked the door.
Oh no, that sounds like it.
To tell them, but we figured we didn't want to get in trouble.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's
looking
really
back,
fun.
that was a stupid decision. But we got through the night okay and went home the next day, living to tell the story another day.
Man, I don't think so. See, I don't like camping. I don't like camping.
I've never. You try to make us go camping one time.
When?
You like, you want to do something adventurous? You want to go camping?
When have I ever in life said
Like,
that?
let's go
When have I
campfire.
volunteered?
Let's go
go
campfire.
camping.
Go get a campfire and have like marshmallows and s'mores and talk about those stories at the campfire.
No,
I mean,
I said I want to do s'mores. Now, I don't have to go camping to have s'mores. You can just get it.
anyway, guys.
Build a fire in the background, in the backyard. Get some logs. Get some clean sticks, because I'm not going to eat off of a dirty branch. Get some clean sticks, like kebab sticks. Put it on the fire and make some s'mores. I don't want to go camping. I already experienced it. I don't want to.
Anyway, guys, please comment below. Don't
Forget to like and share. Yes.
Mr. Nightmare 3 creepy true attic horror stories, and we have a story of our own that we'll talk about at the end of the video. If you have any requests, please follow us on all our social medias and link in the description below, and don't forget to subscribe.
I hope whenever we move into a new house,
Bruh, I'm telling you.
there's nothing happening with our attic. I pray.
Oh boy.
It was an ordinary evening like any other. I was in my room watching TV while my mom was downstairs making dinner. I had my door shut as I usually did because I like my privacy. My room actually connected to the attic because technically my room was never meant to be a bedroom, but it was made into one since I was one of 4 kids. So oftentimes I would hear little cracks in the ceiling just because the attic was right above my room. There were heavy boxes putting constant pressure on the ceiling, so I was a little used to it. But there was one crack that was just too loud. So loud that it actually made me jump. I almost wanted to pull the attic door down and go up there. But I gave it the benefit of the doubt and assumed it was just pressure. That and the fact that I was also scared to go up there. I was scared of that attic my entire childhood, and I hated having it connected to my room.
I would actually switch
I told my mom about the abnormally loud crack and expressed my fear to her. She told me there's nothing up there besides boxes, junk, and mice. She followed the mice part of my smile to let me know she was kidding.
No, that's not a joke.
I stayed in my room watching TV and playing video games. Even after everyone went to bed, I was still playing, deep into the night. I had the volume lower so that I wouldn't wake anyone up. We had paper-thin walls in that house.
That sucks.
I thought I heard another crack in the ceiling. Not as loud as the one from earlier, but still concerning enough to make me pause the game and listen. There was nothing now.
Fatality.
I was having a bit of an adrenaline rush, so I grabbed the stepladder and pulled down the attic door. There was no light up there, you just had to use a flashlight to navigate. I didn't go in though, I just peeked my head in through the opening. There was nothing I could see except piles on top of piles of boxes. So it seemed like it really was just the weight of one of the boxes putting pressure in the ceiling. I planned on telling my mom that we should check it out the next day.
There's a person hiding up in
I
there.
was a bit relieved as I went back to playing video games. I turned the game off about an hour later and finally decided to go to sleep. After a while, though, I started to hear something from above me. It wasn't the regular cracks I was used to hearing. These were more like thumps. They were constant, moving.
Oh no.
Oh no, yeah.
No.
You got 4 siblings, 2 mom and dad. Let's go. Let's get it.
It really sounded like footsteps. The thump stopped right above the attic door, and there was silence. I stared at that attic door so intently, waiting for something to happen. But when I saw the door slowly begin to lift, it didn't feel real. Even though I was expecting something to happen, I wasn't prepared for the door to actually open. I got out of bed as quietly as I could and tiptoed to my mom's room. When I explained, she nudged me to stay in her room as she left to get my brother's.
And yeah, let's
After a
jump
minute
up.
of waiting in silence, I heard a commotion from my room. It was my 2 older brothers yelling aggressively, and my mom screaming at them to come here. Apparently whoever was in the attic was gone though, because both of my brothers went up there and didn't find anyone. My mom also heard the noises in the attic, but didn't know what to think of it until I came and told her about the door opening. I didn't hear any noises anymore after that day, except for the usual occasional cracks in the ceiling.
So did they get them? What?
I'm thinking, she said get the brothers. I'm thinking they gotta go to war. They
Yeah,
yelling yelling
yeah,
aggressively.
they're yelling.
Like, get out! They punching them and stuff.
I thought they jumped.
I thought they jumped in too.
House in a town close to my job. It was only a temporary thing. I only planned on being there for a few months at most. The landlord was hard to use because he seemed controlling, so it didn't help that he really. The house did have an attic, but I never felt the need to go up there. I had stored most everything in the attic garage, airlines, working closets. Not too much living space though. One day though, I did kind of want to see how much space was up there, so I tried to
much time do you need? I would have thought you smarter.
You gotta realize, so you're not computing here. For her too. Wherever she at in that dirty mess. You there before? You're cool right now. little bit more food than that, Jay. She ain't eat all morning. She didn't eat more? Oh, okay. You got a snack though. One of them cheap little things. Undo this. How you gonna put food in the water? Bad pet.
So that was good. I came back to my door. Like Dale still in the same position he was in when I said, "What's up, Dale?" He didn't answer. Not to my surprise.
What?
It was 9:30.
What is this water in here? Oh, this water in here. Oh, she said, well, I was about to finish them, so. We gonna have to do this.
This morning I woke up first Saturday of the year, meaning orientation and all the campus festivities. During the orientation, as my group was walking by the school gardens, so hearing a couple of students ahead of me saying, "What is that kid doing in there?" I saw who they were talking about.
It was Dale.
It was Dale.
Damn Dale.
Sitting in the dirt behind a patch of bushes, rubbing the bark of a tree with his hand. The orientation leader didn't know it, but I'm sure she would have said something. I just walked without saying anything, eventually telling the two kids I overheard that he was my roommate as a way to start a conversation.
They would have been sorry for you.
They apologized to me. None of us really knew what this girl was for not what we did. I made friends with those two kids, and we made plans to get together that night.
Sorry.
I also learned when I got back to my dorm that the school found another roommate for me. They seemed to be turning around quickly together. I left the room that night to go meet up with the two kids I met. And when I got back, Dale was sitting on the desk chair facing the door. I said, "Oh, hey, what's up?" He said nothing, very matter-of-factly. I sat down on my bed and opened my laptop and realized I forgot to log in. I also realized that all of my emails had been opened. Emails I was pretty sure I didn't even read. And a bunch of folders of mine had been opened.
Oh, hell no.
Dale, you about to catch these
my laptop. When I asked him if he did, he responded no, very loudly, half a second after he had finished my question. I didn't read him like a book. This creepy kid was literally going through my computer when I was out. I knew he did it, but I didn't pursue it. I was ready to go to bed, so as I went into my bed to look for my pajamas, I felt like my clothing had all been moved around as well.
Damn it, Dale.
I knew I'd be out of there forever by tomorrow, so I didn't say anything.
Man, please, you get it tonight.
I woke up in the middle of the night to the sound of the zipper. I sat up and saw Dale on the ground, going through my bag. I turned the lamp on, this time confronting him about it.
You know how to go.
He played dumb, saying, "I think you have my toothbrush by mistake." It was the closest thing to wit that he'd shown
In my
up that
backpack?
way. Still, I knew he was lying, and I knew something was wrong with him, so I couldn't get physical with him. The next day, I met my new roommate in the same building, and everything went well.
I'm crazy.
Sunday night, after having a decent conversation with my roommate, who was no social butterfly, but smiled better than Dale, we both turned off our lights and went to bed. For the third night in a row, I woke up at some off hour of the night to a strange noise. It was a weird clicking noise. It wasn't consistent.
Oh my God.
At least twice every 30 seconds. I got up, hoping to find something innocent, like a heavy bag putting pressure on the door, or even a mouse. But as I scoped out the room, I realized the sound was actually coming from the other side of the door. The nightlight in the common area was always on, so when I looked through the peephole, I was able to see the scalp of the person standing on the other side of our door. They were looking down, so I couldn't see their face. But now that I was paying attention, I realized the tiny clicking noises were actually coming from the doorknob. I was sure the person was trying to unlock the door. I dialed the number for the campus police department, and they showed up in under 5 minutes to the common room.
There you go.
And only then did I feel the safe open door. I found the officers to have Dale in cuffs. I had a feeling it was him. I told them everything, that he was my former roommate who was going through his stuff, so I switched dorms, only to find him trying to break into my new dorm. They took him away. I don't know what happened to him after that, but I never saw him again. He either got suspended for the semester or expelled. I got through the rest of my years at university like anybody else. However, the nightmarish experience I had with Dale still pops up in my head every now and then.
Sorry, you would have caught the hands, Dale.
Dale would have caught those hands, man.
Especially if I catch you
I
going
went
to
to
my
Binghamton University for 2 years.
You already
Me and this
cleared?
group of friends there, and we'd go out every weekend. One weekend on a Friday night in October, when my group didn't have any big plans together, me and 2 other close friends decided to hang out at the nature preserve by the lake. There was this little clearing on the far side of the lake that was convenient for fires. Since it was so far from view of the school or campus security, kids would sometimes, but not often, come here to smoke pot, drink, and do basically all the other drugs.
Of course.
It was a relatively unknown spot on campus, and we liked that about it. Tonight we just brought a bunch of beers, lit a fire, and hung out, having what we referred to at the time as a bro chat.
Bro chat.
As the night progressed, time seemed to pass quicker as the alcohol began to take effect. Eventually it got to the point where we were all laughing so hard that one of my two friends was on the floor rolling in
What the?
That was when my other friend stopped laughing and went, we all perked up and listened, and heard the crunching of leaves and branches in the distance. We threw our bottles in the lake since we were all under 21, and it wasn't unheard of for police to come through the woods and beers to catch kids doing drugs. We tucked the rest of the beers into a backpack. I was moderately drunk, so my paranoia was higher than usual. That was probably the case for all of us. The fire exposed us to anyone passing through the woods. But the thing is, this spot was so unknown and far from campus that it was rare to find anybody else that knew through the woods. It sounded like just one person in the distance.
Might have been a deer. Or bear.
The sound of a tree branch snapping not too far away freaked all of us out. None of us were really the confrontational ones from our group, so we were lacking that one person who would have the confidence to stand up and yell out to whoever was out there. Instead, we all just sat in silence, shushing each other. We heard what seemed to be somebody or something circling us, or at least walking around in a C shape around the little campsite. No, it literally started to feel like we were in the movie The Blair Witch Project.
So good. We gave it for
Leaves crunching on the ground kept echoing over to our campsite. We laughed about it at first, but I personally soon became terrified of what it could be.
Say funny.
Out of the blue, a huge thud made all three of us jump. At first I didn't understand, even though I saw what caused the sound. It took me a few seconds to digest the fact that a branch had been thrown into the center of our little fire site. One of my two friends took off running, while my other friends and I sat behind, looking at each other, half laughing, half concerned. I feel like we didn't know yet if this was some kind of joke or not. That same friend let out a scream of pain as he was struck in the face by another tree branch. I grabbed the backpack, helped my friend up off the floor, and when we made it to the road separating the nature preserve from our dorm, we stopped to catch our breath. But whoever was out there proved to be following us when we heard footsteps coming closer to the road. We continued to run back to the dorm, and when we got back to our floor, we found our other friend in his room already.
Retarded. Even if it did to me, it wouldn't even cut my body in half.
That would have been me. I would have been that friend already.
And every time the car passed, they would walk back into the woods. Eventually, whoever it was went back into the woods.
I can't go.
Too early, man. Wow. He getting a lot of money. He already lost one.
So what kind of screen was that? Did me like that 5-star? At the age of 22, why you don't have no facial hair?
Damn, cheetah.
I'm drunk as hell. See, if you was fat like the gang, them 2 shots wouldn't have bothered you.
Shit like the
Bro, I can't go nowhere, bro.
To never be seen again by us. We continued our drinking session in the dorm room, and within 10 minutes we were all laughing about it. It wasn't until the next morning that we all realized how terrifying that experience actually was.
Bro, you can't even make this.
Wouldn't pass dark after that.
Right.
Okay, so this. Look, I'll be that one friend.
That will not be.
Okay. I'll be like, if I hear a big old thump, I don't care if it's a person, I don't care if it's an animal, I'm going. And then y'all can tell me what happened later on when you come back. Okay?
Yeah,
I'll be sitting in my room, completely safe.
I said, she ran, like, get her that branch. I was looking at me like, get out.
Like, I remember when there was like food fights, like at school, which was a lot. It happened a lot. And we had uniforms. I didn't have that many, so I didn't want to get mine dirty, and we all had white shirts. So it was like, I remember one time I saw this one orange fly through the air. I was the first one to see it. I was the first one at my group of friends table to get up, and I ran. I was gone. Like, my friends didn't know where I was. I was already outside of the cafeteria. And then that's when the food fight happened. And then there was like, where was you at? I was like, I was already down the hallway.
I was gone.
I was gone.
Yeah,
I was like, y'all saw me get up. I was like, you didn't tell nobody else. You saw me get up. So that meant for you to do something too,
right.
Okay? Once you see somebody that doesn't run, start running, that means I'm doing it for me.
Right.
Okay?
So yeah.
I would have been that one. So,
Anyway, guys, please comment below. So,
don't forget to like,
subscribe,
and share.
smart guys.
This is
That was scary. What the?
Right.
some you a girl and some dude like, yeah, I'll pay for your drink or whatever like that. You will feed that drink. Don't drink it.
How is my name? Kingdom and Dwayne.
My name's Jasmine.
We're Dwayne and Jazz. Today we have for you 4 true college horror stories. So, part 2, we're doing the second half now. You guys been really hitting this up like, yo, you gotta do it. So,
I think I'll just like see the scare.
yeah, no,
Well, you have to
Jasmine
be scared
jumped.
with us.
Jasmine, that one that you jumped. Ooh.
If I look out the
Ooh.
window and I'm seeing somebody,
Oh my God.
aren't you gonna jump too? Especially if they have big eyes like I do, and I'm just.
No, I will laugh at their face. You know, it's not about that.
Why are you guarding yourself?
For abusive.
My freshman year at the University of Iowa.
Ooh,
I was just starting to get comfortable with my roommate.
Oh, that looks like a
He was
serial killer
dedicated to
campus.
the idea of rushing a fraternity, and Rush Week was starting the next week.
It's also
But the
like,
parties were starting Thursday of the first week. My roommate didn't want to go alone because it would be harder to meet people that way. So he wanted me to go.
Pretty awkward.
I happily
it
agreed
made
to
me
go.
jump.
Even though I had no interest in rushing a fraternity, I still had intentions to go to parties. After all, I was attending a party school. My roommate wanted to go to one frat party on Thursday, and then parties at different frat houses on Friday and Saturday.
Hey, that's a party
This
school.
Thursday night, we were headed to perhaps one of the lowest ranked frats. Pretty sure it was an underground one too. But his logic in attending was to have a backup frat in case the higher ones wouldn't give him a bid. The frat house was really far from campus, in a much more slummy downtown area. We pulled up to a corner house, and if it weren't for the blasting music and cars parked everywhere, we would never picture this house as a
Sound
frat
real.
house. It literally looks like they settled with the first house they found.
Yeah, they ain't got no
Walked to
money.
the door to immediately be greeted by some short, chubby guy in a white t-shirt holding a solo cup. His shirt had sweat stains by his armpits and mid-belly area. He told us to come right in. The party itself was in a horribly dimly lit room with probably 50 guys bunched up into the living room.
Ugh.
It was hot as hell in there to make it even worse.
Ugh.
I think I saw maybe 2 girls at the entire party,
Oh, that's
neither of them
bad.
even close to attractive. I gave the party a good 20 minutes, talking with one overweight foreigner after another, all giving off antisocial vibes. Eventually, I waited for my roommate to get ready to leave, but a huge group of guys by the door made us decide to wait a little longer to avoid the awkwardness of leaving early.
Now, where you going, bro?
I continued to drink the cheap beers they were serving. I think I downed 5 cups before I could even feel the buzz.
Wow.
A heavy guy approached me with a tiny bottle in his hand and handed it to me, smirking and saying, "That'll get you shit-faced." I fake laughed and thanked him, expecting him to go away. He just watched me as if he were waiting for me to drink it.
Like, drink it
So,
now.
I did. It was maybe 2 shots worth of some kind of hard liquor. The guy then started making conversation with me, and every time I hinted that I was trying to get away, he would try to pull me further into this otherwise one-sided conversation. Things started to get really blurry pretty soon.
Oh,
I
no.
remember feeling dizzy all of a sudden, and the room seemed to be getting darker. That was the last thing I remember before waking up in a dark room, laying in a bed. I could hear the sound of music muffled behind closed doors, so I knew I was still in the frat house. It was a very dark room, however I could still make out certain furniture in the room, and a small closet door, not much else though. But even over the blaring music, I heard the sound of a plastic bag being crunched from the closet, as if somebody had stepped on it by mistake. I ran out of that room and down the stairs back to the overcrowded living room.
I bet.
I found my roommate and pushed him out the front door, past the group of guys still standing in a circle right next to it. During the car ride back to campus, I told my roommate I was drugged. He almost called the cops, but I said it would be foolish and pointless. My roommate then asked me an awkward question. Was I taken advantage of? I didn't feel any type of pain, and my clothes were all still on the same, so I assumed not. When I did a time check, I realized I'd only been out for maybe 10 minutes before waking up.
Oh, that's a short amount.
Whatever the guy must have been a dud or something, thank God. That was my college experience of attending an underground ghetto frat party, and it remains to be my scariest life experience.
Or maybe he was about to do something, but then he woke up.
Yeah, I think he was. Like, that's why.
Oh my God. Woo.
I had a single dorm my first semester.
Don't break it here.
Yeah.
It was in the corner of the floor, kind of secluded from the rest of the dorm rooms, since it was in its own little section. You had to turn a corner to even see the door. It was nice because I'd be able to still talk with friends on my floor, invite people over to my room, and still have privacy when it was time to do homework or go to sleep. A few weeks into the semester, while studying for a bio exam, the silence was interrupted by a noise. It took me a bit to realize it was a light tapping on the door. It was so light that I almost didn't even hear it. I yelled, "Come in," but the door didn't open. So I got up to open it. Nobody was there.
Playing games.
I walked around the corner to look down the hall. Nobody. Somebody was obviously messing with me. I went back to my bed and continued studying, this time leaving the door open. Nobody came back. The next night, a few minutes after shutting the lamp in my bedroom to go to bed, the tapping on the door returned. Only this time it was much louder, more of a knocking sound. I called out, "Who is it?" And again the knocking stopped and nobody answered. I got out of my bed quickly and opened the door to see my small private corridor was void of any people. Again, I ran the 10 feet from my door to the corner to look down the main hallway at the floor. Nobody.
See you playing games.
The next morning, I asked some of the other kids in the dorm if they had been messing with me. Everyone said no. The next night, I woke up after having been asleep for
That's
3
when I get my
hours.
taser out.
Someone was knocking on my door again, this time louder than ever. I had trouble deciding whether to open the door or not this time. With a bout of courage, I hopped up and opened the door. Nobody was there as I was expecting, but this time I full-on sprinted down the tiny corridor isolating my room. When I turned the corner, I saw the back of somebody disappearing behind the far corner on the opposite side of the hallway. I ran as fast as I could down the hallway, and as I turned to the next hallway where I saw the person a few seconds earlier, I saw a door at the end of the hallway shutting. It wasn't a dorm room, it was a bathroom. I felt like I was ready to confront whoever this
I was about to say, I'm ready for this. Let's
So I
go.
pushed open the bathroom door with force. The light was off. I turned it on expecting to see somebody hiding in there, but I didn't see anyone. My first instinct was to check the 2 bathroom stalls, which were both shut. I got on my hands and knees and looked under the 2 stalls. 2 heavy black boots could be seen from underneath one of the stall doors. I took a deep breath and pushed the stall open. I was confused. There were the boots sitting on the floor, but no person to wear them.
Oh, no.
I heard a creepy giggling noise. Not a feminine or childlike one. It was a kind of laughing that I could only imagine to be that of a really old, crazy man. For some reason, my confidence was gone, and I was scared shitless. Therefore, I ran back to my room and shut the door. I hopped back in my bed and started texting every friend I had.
God,
of course,
please.
everybody was asleep, though. The knocking happened one more time that night. I ignored it. Went up and got over it. Whoever that person was, gave up. I spoke to everybody on my floor the next day. Nobody else heard any knocking, and everybody swore they weren't afraid of me. Everybody seemed sincere. I don't know why this person chose to harass me or who this person was.
I got the
Judging by the boots and the laughing I heard, this was an older man, though, and that disturbs me.
I don't know who the hell on that door. That's what I would do.
So, fun fact. Don't go to a party and drink something that somebody else is giving you.
Never. That's a
So
rule one.
make your
Never
own
ever.
drink, okay? Make your own drink. And that's just that. No, that doesn't even apply to just parties. It applies to clubs, bars, wherever you go.
Right.
Some do a girl and some do, but yeah, I'll pay for your drink or whatever like that. You won't be that do not drink it.
Do not.
Do not.
Do not do it.
I don't care how drunk you're trying to get. If you drink at home, then you go, oh, you know what, that's bad. I shouldn't say that. I promote everybody to get drunk.
No, you're over the age of 21. 21 over, you can drink.
But y'all
Drink moderately.
still gonna do it anyway.
Drink
Even if you're not
moderately.
21.
Yeah.
You're probably still gonna do it.
Don't.
Okay.
But do not.
I mean, that'll save you money.
Do not. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not drinking. You know what? That's why you do not drink. Simple as it is. I don't know what you're talking about. Don't do it. Do not do it. Do not do it. Wait till you're 21.
I mean, we don't drink, so we don't care, but
Just don't do it. say Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, like I've always had to be the babysitter of the bunch. Like, where are you and everything, because they can't handle their liquor. So I have to go get them, okay? Or else they're gonna go in a car with some dude and just be gone missing forever. So you know, that's why I'm like, don't do it. Like, just do not take the drink at all.
Drink moderate, 21 and over.
And second of all, dude, whoever is knocking on my door.
They was a ghost. And he said 2 black boots, but nobody was in them.
You might just took your shoes off and sitting like Indian style on top of the
Hey, dog, I don't care, bro. Why
you get tased?
Why you messing with my dog? I would feel off that. I would not be there.
As soon as I hear that first knock, I'm jumping up to that. Wherever you run, I'm on your boots.
I'm not
on you.
I am not.
Like, no. Listen,
I am not messing with this old guy. I don't got time, but you can get your old ass out of here. I'll get a camera.
Get a camera outside his door.
Yeah, like hit the camera.
Yeah, you should do that. Or call the police. Call the campus police, even though they're not really that helpful. But you know, just go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
Try it.
Try it, please do it.
Let them be the victim, and then you can be like, see, this is proof.
This is proof that this old guy. I don't know.
Because he did something to him.
Yeah.
I called him for help, and now he's dead. So see.
Yeah, but
That's not good. I just said sacrifice to the cop.
Yeah,
that's not good either.
That's bad. Yeah.
That's bad.
Anyway,
just put the hidden camera up there.
Yeah, and then just record it, give it to campus police, and they'll be taking out.
And
So
that's it. You know?
yeah, but anyway, guys, please comment us.
Don't forget to like, subscribe.
Oh my gosh, Jesus.
I'm just preaching all bad.
I don't know what you're talking about today. Say we have for you 3 true scary social media horror stories by Mr. Nightmare. Would you check his channel out?
Already scary enough, isn't it?
I know. If you guys have any reaction requests, please follow us on all social medias and the link in the description below. And don't forget to
subscribe.
What's that?
Subscribe.
Oh, okay, that's what I thought. Slacking. I was about to say, you're doing your job. King Daniel, Danielle Strandberg, and Alex Farr.
I was like, the name we're going to be on
Instagram browsing.
That's scary.
I saw my best friend Alexis posted a picture of herself sitting by the side of her backyard pool with her friend. So I liked it and planned on leaving the comments. I read through all her other comments first, and at the very bottom, a comment left only a minute ago was from a man with the username Jam00235.
He has the number.
Said, "You are a very hot little lady." I should mention we're both 16. When I clicked on this guy's profile, he appeared to be like 40.
Ew.
Most of his pictures were of random landscapes. Some were of narrating random objects, a handful bottle of beer, some weird stone statue. Some had like 1 or 2 likes at most. He only had 15 followers, yet he followed over 100 people, including Alexis. I texted her about the comments and told her she should remove it and block his account. She promptly replied, "Yeah, I know, it's so creepy." She blocked the account, and I went about liking and commenting on the picture like I originally planned on doing.
He made a new account.
Yeah. He was like, why
The next day,
on private.
Alexis and I walked home together since we lived right across the street from each other. On our way home, we noticed a white car driving slowly in the street next to us. It was a little suspect, so Alexis told me to come to her house with her. Whoever was driving that car slowed down when we got to her house and sped away as soon as we entered.
Oh no.
It was the sketchiest thing we'd ever seen. And we almost felt like we were being followed.
You are.
I stayed over Lexi's house the rest of the day.
We had that
We
situation.
worked on our biology project together.
It was too late.
We just hung out until late at night since we had no school the next day. It was often that I'd spend the whole day at Lexi's house. This was one of those times. We ordered a pizza since Lexi's parents weren't home. That also meant it was just the 2 of us in the house.
Tonight you updraft, edit, fine-tune, deep breath, and send. Tomorrow you try it.
Pray to the God's stream.
Our alliance was only temporary.
Separate Krieg from the shadows, Centurion.
Mine is the light that burns shadows. Round 1, fight.
Alan back. Yeah, bro, Alan's video is called. Look, I'm showing you. Look, Alan is awesome. Yeah, seafood. Yay! Okay. What is she doing? What are you watching? Alan eat. Weirdo. It's funny. And Alan is my own cousin. We watch him eat. One of my best cousins. One I knew. Day one. Day one right here. Yeah, you're all thinking. I was thinking how to eat what you eating. I'm gonna squad. And put a book on this. I'll put a dislike on it. You're a hater. You hating on my cousin? I was just like, boy, like, nah, like. That was mad awkward. The crab. Eat the crab. Eat the crab. Eat the crab. Eat it. Yeah. Break it.
Yeah, I got so much outfits in this.
Yeah, go in the what you call her? And I'm gonna go share his YouTube channel.
Scarlet wins.
Hey, twerk. Hey, you a twerk boss. Hey, you eat butt. You suck dick. Damn. Oh my god. Damn. I can't rap.
Fight.
Round 2. Fight. Doom. Dang, pin there on the wall. Get over here. Dang. Dum. Oh, it'll blow up your whole chest. Like, front part of your chest, but okay. Alright, that's 2 fatalities on Secheon. Time to kill you, Secheon. For once and for all. Round 2, fight. Where my moves go, fool? Doom. Finish her. Hard pressure. Yeah, her heart was going mad fast. That thing was like. Alright, this is like fatality 3.
Round 1. Fight.
Dang, I would've killed somebody. My house now.
Maybe I want to play Fortnite. Play Fortnite with him.
What the fuck is that? Blood siphon. Yeah, that's it.
Fight.
Get over here. Finish her. Pump that blood. I don't think that could actually happen, but if that does happen, it's pretty wicked.
I'm about to call my man No Mel. No Mel. So man, I'm gonna hit my man No Mel. No Mel.
Oh.
No Mel. Where you at?
Round 2, fight. My house now. Oh. Dun 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 Fight. Oh my god. You just got her hand.
Round
2, fight.
Yo, I forgot all about freaking battle pass. What tier are you?
81.
Are you gonna hit the 100?
Obviously.
I probably ain't gonna hit it.
Finish her. What? Wait. It was. Yeah, I got it. 80.
You know who got the most easiest finisher?
Oh, that's nasty.
All you gotta do is press it down. Like,
I know how to do that.
that's the most easiest one.
I know
Press
how.
it down.
I know how to do almost all the finishes.
How do you do Scorpion? How do you do Scorpion?
What?
How do you do Scorpion finisher?
Is one of them is down, forward, circle, box. And, wait. Dang, I just took her health. She took her health again. That's my best combo with this person. Ain't thought ho. Kick them, they fall back, use the blood thing, then combo, and then you go in the air, the blood thing again, and then boom. Oh my god. It was pressing straight in the corner. Wait, it was. That her explode the desktop. I made a heart explode. Skylar will always win. Congratulations. I'm gonna keep going until I see the reward pop up so I can get the stuff in the crypt. Let's go Century on. I have to kill you like 1,000 more times. But that doesn't bother me.
Dang, this is probably be one thing I didn't hit here. I know a couple people that ain't gonna hit 300. I know doesn't hate. He ain't never hate.
Doug can never get the fully upgraded shit. Doug and Jordan?
No, that's him. He's gonna take a break.
Oh, that was a nice combo. Dang, I'm about to get stabbed with her own blood. Damn. Oh shit. So that flight's not joining?
Cause he was raging on something. I don't know what he was doing. He kept talking about Jaden was right about that one hit. No, not he talking about something in Mortal Kombat about one hit. He
oh, I know. Yeah, that mention, bro.
And then he was like, alright, forget it. I'm taking a break. And then this back on me. Got this guy.
I told him that one hit mission. I figured.
He said the mission that you was talking about that you get one hit.
I know, cause they have like those special things.
He's like, he's only hitting me twice. I'm like, I'm in there. Like, he goes, and then he's just like getting mad, and he's like, alright, I'm taking a break. Oh, okay, bye.
Did I just cut myself? Oh my god.
Go.
Dang. Straight stabbed her in the stomach. Tell me why I forgot the fatality for some reason just now. But then I remembered that still I pressed the wrong thing. I was like, oh, it's forward. What the fuck am I doing? One.
Crash.
Ooh. Oh my god.
Oh my.
This one's over here, boy.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Round 2. Fight. Fight.
Round 3. Suck.
Hey, you ain't doing that. Scarlet wins.
I should have landed at Loot Lake.
I just did a whole brutality. I did not mean to do that. I sort of didn't mean to do it. I just wanted to see it again. Fight.
Do something cool.
Somebody in my chat and said do something cool. Well, that's David Sanderson.
You hear that?
What? No, that's my fatality. For the blood girl. She pumps your heart a lot and then you die. Yeah.
I'm at 1 HP. That's it?
What?
That's it?
What?
And the fatality, that's it?
Yeah, I'm trying to do it. I'm trying to do this challenge or something.
That's boring.
I'll switch when I'm finished, but you don't have. I'll switch characters when I'm finished, but you just don't have to wait until I'm finished. This. What the? Come on, get your 1LB Northern and get your head out of here.
We'll go back for that big car, but I don't want to die. I don't want to die, yeah, so I got it probably one. A 10 toes down in my booty, he had this. He shot out on the booty like a shopper. Whole lot of cum in my booty. Gotta keep it in my booty, I don't want to have babies, remember? If I would have died, bro, I would have raged so hard. I'm at 1 HP. Trying to jump in the split stream. Something bad happened because you want to be stupid. I don't want to get that done, so I got sag in my butt.
Scarlet wins. Scarlet wins. Flawless victory. I'm the best, that's why I'm flawless victory, nigga.
I got reached by
Oh. Hey.
I can't play around with the storm. I'm 1 hit to the storm. Cannot play around with that storm.
Some motherfucking rots.
I'm a hot star. Hey. I'm a new fire and I'm fly. I'm a new.
Oh, so don't. That's tough. Dun 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 dun. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 of them joints in here, boy. 6 of them joints. Dang, I just pushed out her eyeball. Scarlet wins. I'm the best.
Who camps in me, bro? I put this guy lacking. He kept sucking in my milk.
I'm not 35.
I'll leave it alone.
Got some roast beef. I want roast beef. I want the roast beef. Plus I'm getting tired. Got a banana. Yeah. BB sagging, fly like a dragon.
Boston, pull up to the kitty, looking at my blicky,
Three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Thousand, trillion, gazillion, mom in a million years. Damn. I'd be rapping like this.
It's more like some toochies. They look like on hoopies. Pull up in the block with the coop of the hoopy. Acting dumb gets met with this good tootie.
You
I'm watching the guy camp. I'm just watching the camp. There's anybody in there.
You're killing me.
Hell, what the I don't know what he got. I just know he was a banana near the you know, I don't know what this is, near the there where the balls he had near Polo Peak. The guy was in there, so I went through in there to use a med kit, and I felt like he put of the banana, so then I walked out. No, I didn't walk out. I put a wall in the pyramid down and he let me hit it too. I was at 118.
He's probably AFK, what he's doing?
It wasn't AFK, I saw him moving, and then he started pickaxing stuff, so I ran out.
They got them cut that hedge.
He's gonna start moving now, for sure. And I'm right here. They don't know where I'm at. So, it's two of them in there. I know the other guy probably went in there. I don't think he could.
And they're probably teaming them.
They're not teaming. But I know this one guy is right there inside. He's not. Okay, there you go. He's moving. He's on fire escape lane. Brutality. As soon as he walk out that door, bro. Over, bro.
As soon as he walk like that.
I swear, bro, if I kill this guy, somebody, yo, what? I never.
Somebody's still watching me. That's why nobody. That's why my thing couldn't say it. That's why I called him, cause like David Common again, but like the mic thing was off for the siding of the broadcast.
I got 10.
Oh, and misery.
Somebody on that mountain. I had a sniper with a blinker.
Oh my god. It's getting hot in here. Take off all your clothes and get
take off your clothes.
I want you to take off your clothes.
I take off my clothes every night. Well, everybody in there is fighting, but that's funny.
Yeah, I just cut my hand and dripped so much blood on the floor.
That wasn't weird, but he was drinking blood. Drink my blood. Drink that thing I'm high. Yo, I'm telling you, bro, some people need out to drink already. I'm not moving so I can learn to move it.
Now you see just both of them just walk out of there.
But y'all can have this. I want this. If I do have to do what I gotta do, this is the both of them. That's what I'm gonna do. If I do lose, I'm just gonna report it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 of them joints, bro. 6 of them joints. Boom! Took her eyeball out. Oh my god.
I know somebody in there, but I'm not bugging.
I think you would die if that if somebody did that
I
to
see
you.
him in a ball. He in a ball. Yeah.
You in my ball. I'm gonna be on my ball tonight. I drink till I drunk. Eat your mama till I'm high, cause you know I'm super fly.
Oh, it's on me. Are you just... Baby body, baby butt.
Yeah, sit down, boy. Dang, I just put a whole needle through her head.
You guys are playing scary as hell.
Bro, I just cut my wrist and my hand.
Round 2.
But this girl, oh, she can't control blood, so.
I'm at 28 right now. Wow. Bro, he's trash! Bro, that's why he died to the storm, bro. That's why he died to the storm. This is what I mean, bro. Instead of worrying about me, worry about the damn storm. People so damn annoying in this game. I'm about to go back on watching balls.
Fatality. Scarlet wins.
Go. My thing is jiggling. If you jiggling, like jiggle.
Fight.
Actually, I'm going to tell my mom to go into that. Let's go into a rag temple to eat. This is what happens when you don't worry about somebody.
Dang, I gotta finish her now. Wait.
I'm about to do
Wait, what is it? Yeah, I'm gonna get demonetized on YouTube.
For what?
Cause I'm doing fatalities.
Why are you doing fatalities on YouTube?
They get demonetized.
I'm gonna go on YouTube right now.
I mean, I don't know why people can't post anything on YouTube, because they make YouTube Kids for a reason, so.
I mean, some kids like to watch that stuff. I mean, what do young kids, this is what parents do when it comes to young kids. They buy them an iPad, right? That's what they do. They get YouTube Kids, those like YouTube, and they know what to do? Put Baby Shark, and after Baby Shark, it just lead them to everything else they want to watch. And all they have to do is scroll past. I mean, then it's those commercials.
That's why they have YouTube Kids, so I don't know why people get demonetized.
Yeah, they didn't have, yeah, it's true, because they wouldn't know how to demonetize stuff, they would have been doing stuff like this. Yeah, like, dude, what's really YouTube?
No, we're gonna get supported creator code.
Huh?
We're gonna get a supported creator code, because David's brother has like 1,000 followers on YouTube or Instagram, I think. That's what he said.
Oh my god. Oh.
What happened?
Oh, you only killed that and have a gun. I'm about to get off this thing.
Why?
Oh shit.
I'm about to join, but I want to finish this up.
Fortnite always been trash. I don't know how we played it. I would never, if I had never been in Fortnite, I would just fucking beat that GTA 5 and make it last.
Your blood reeks of
We probably would have played this game, but so late, man. We probably would have been bots.
splits my blood. I will end your misery.
Round 1. Fight!
I should have killed that fucking guy.
Why am I jumping like that?
Huh?
I was jumping this so stupid.
Only reason I died is look, I'm worried about the banana because he's in the ball. I'm looking at the banana, right? And then the new game banana. I'm like, oh, that's a bitch.
Round 2.
Fight.
I'm gonna do arena real quick. Let's do arena. Oh, you still care about losing points? I'm not sick. It's an arena.
Fatality. Scarlet wins.
Ah!
Round 1. Fight!
Yes. Everyone knows iconic skin. Is it iconic? What is it about?
Oh my gosh, she broke my ribcage. Dang, I just did a whole combo. That was a nasty combo too. To fight.
Oh, you're sniffing crack. Where's Aaron at? I hear it, bro. I heard it just now. I heard it, bro. I heard it. Nah, I don't care, bro. I heard it, bro. And that was louder than Aaron's, bro. What are you doing? What are you doing?
My thing rubbed against my shirt. Calm down.
Oh, I'm about to bro. You got me.
No!
Yo, that. I'm right here. Oh, no. There's no way. That's not Aaron's sniffing cat. Yo, that's what I was Aaron. That's him running. That's him moving around too much.
No, I think stuff on crack. Nah, cause every time he starts talking, it stops. So, I think it's him sniffing.
Tomorrow I'm gonna go to shop and sell Injustice 2. I'll probably get like $25 back. Or $39. So if it was $39, if it was a sale, it was $25. If I go to GameStop and buy it, I'll probably get like,
oh, through her.
I hate dual pistol, he one-shotted me, bro. 43, 43,
Dual pistols are the best. What are you talking about?
Oh my god. I'm going to eat some bro.
Hey, die. Dang, I didn't know you. Never mind, I was gonna say, I didn't know you were Mother Nature, but she is technically in this game. 3.
I'm about to get up to 8, but yeah.
9 hits.
Who's here? This guy with the album is that? I was since I did that. He should be a good. And he should be.
What? I don't.
Yeah, you, your mother, and your whole family. Sorry.
Then that means I have 5 other people in your family. Retarded. So stupid ass, nigga.
Please stop post that, is it?
I have to go to the donate to me right now.
Hey, boy.
Alright, go to my Twitch. Download Twitch, David. Yeah, download it. Download it then, lady, nigga. Yo. Alright, just get Twitch right now. Alright, yo, Dave. I mean, dozen. It's typical JJ or typical underscore JJ when you look to, and have a picture of Dirty Burger in the onesie skin, and it's a black background with my Instagram and Snapchat. Yo, dozen. Too good to. I heard that you was playing that one-hit mission, huh?
Sorry. I'm not playing more Kombat.
Why? I'm doing stuff for the crit. I got mad skins. I'm gonna show you my skins though. I'll show you. But I'm not finished. I just want to do this real quick.
You never play that game again.
I will. Not today. Not today.
Why you muted your mic? I can't even hear you raise me one. I was about to get off the
Oh, dang, I shouldn't run into that. I got I got the other fatality for Scarlet. Then I want to show you all the stuff I got from the crib. I got a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I'm going back on the just today. I'm not playing right now. I'm trying to get off. I'm tired.
Round 1, fight.
Play with David.
They made like this little
dang, I just did a 7-hit combo on this girl. That's that. Why? Oh, so you can see it? Yeah. Alright, sorry YouTube, I gotta end this. Yeah, he was a good boy.